Right, hello everybody. It's Rachel here from Lion Learners North Lincolnshire, and today we're outside in my garden, so excuse me squinting in the sun here. This week the theme of our videos is animal classification. So we're looking at grouping animals into mammals, reptiles, amphibians, fish, birds and mini beasts. This is something that is taught in Year 1 in primary schools. It's a foundation of knowledge that's built on throughout the primary school years and further on, of course, in science. So it's useful for anybody to help with classification. So today's amphibians. Yesterday we met some gorgeous mammals, the lovely Theo, the rabbit, and his lovely furry warm-blooded friends. And we've got some amphibians today, so very, very different kinds of animals. So we're outside at my pond. Amphibians are animals that spend some of their life in the water and some of their life on the land. So in our pond we are lucky to have frogs and newts, both of which are amphibians. So we're going to have a good look at a couple of amphibians in a moment. I'm just going to turn my view around so we can have a closer look at the pond. Here we are. So you can see the pond has got lots of plants growing in it. We've got water lilies coming up that will take over a lot of that part of the pond in the coming months. So there's lots of shelter, lots of oxygenating plants in there. It's a great place for animals to live. Now, if we'd shown you our pond a couple of months ago, you would have been able to see about a third of it was covered in frog spawn. Frog spawn, of course, is eggs laid by frogs, and when frogs lay eggs they lay hundreds and hundreds of them all together. They're protected in a kind of jelly coating, and they're different from birds' eggs because they don't have a hard shell, they just have a thin skin. So we can't show you any frog spawn today because we have none left, which means, of course, that it's all hatched out, and we can now show you some tadpoles. So we're very lucky we have so many tadpoles here that we can just scoop into the pond with a bucket and out they come. So we haven't touched these tadpoles, we're not harming them at all, and as soon as we've done this they'll go straight back in the pond to carry on growing into frogs. So when the frog spawn hatched out, these little tadpoles appeared. They're cute, aren't they? Just like little black dots with funny wiggly tails. That's all they really are at the moment. We can't take them out of the water because just like a fish, they would die if they came out of the water. Just like a fish, they have gills, so they breathe oxygen from the water through their gills. So if we take them out of the water, that's not good. But a frog can come out of the water. So what happens? A frog's body changes an awful lot in its lifetime. So soon we will start to see changes in how these tadpoles look. We've looked really, really hard today and we can't find any tadpoles that are starting to grow legs. But that will be one of the first changes. We would start to see back legs appearing. Of course, if they're going to be a frog, they need 4 legs, don't they? So they grow their back legs first, then their front legs, and their body just gradually changes an awful lot over time, and eventually their tail will even disappear, and they will turn into a frog. So when they turn into a frog, there are also changes taking place inside their body, and they develop lungs, which is why a frog can come out of the water to breathe. A frog has lungs, a bit like we do, so it can breathe out of the water. So let's have a look. We've been lucky enough to find a lovely frog here. So I'm going to show you very quickly. He's been very good for us, but he would like to go back in his pond. There we are. He's a bit camera shy, isn't he? So it's hard to believe that he was once a little tadpole, isn't it? Here he is out of the water, breathing quite happily. Of course he can swim beautifully. Can you see those strong back legs and beautiful webbed toes for swimming? And although he doesn't have gills anymore like a fish, he can still breathe through his skin. Amphibians have very strange skin, and once they are an adult and their gills have disappeared, they can breathe underwater through their skin for a good long time without needing to, without needing to come up for air. So there's Mr. Frog. He's gorgeous, isn't he? And here are the tadpoles. So they've grown from tadpoles into frogs. Now this frog I think might have been around for a few years. He's getting quite big. Once these tadpoles change, this year they will only be small frogs. They will carry on growing. So that's something we know about amphibians. He wants to go now. We'll just pop his lid back on, we'll let him go in a minute. Amphibians spend usually the first part of their life in the water. So a frog lays its frog spawn in the water. A lot of you will have seen frogs spawn just below the surface of the water in a pond. Amphibians lay eggs, but those eggs don't have a hard shell, and they will even eat the jelly as they're hatching out. Newts, of course, are amphibians too. They also lay eggs, but they don't lay hundreds in one place. They'll just lay individual eggs, and they'll wrap them up in a leaf to keep them safe. And then they hatch out into not a tadpole really like a frog. This is a frog tadpole, but a newt does really look more like a mini newt and just gets bigger over time. That's our tadpole. And then they start to grow, change. You can see the legs developing, but there's still a tail here. And eventually we've got a frog. There we go. So that's their life cycle. And the most important thing about amphibians, of course, is that they're born with gills, and then they develop lungs as they grow bigger. Now we do also have a newt to show you. We've managed to just quickly scoop a newt up as well. So let's see. Here he is. So you can see his four legs. Sorry, we're a bit wobbly there. And he looks really, doesn't he, a bit like a little lizard. But there are some differences, of course. Most lizards lay eggs too, but they do have a shell, whereas the newt's egg would not have a shell. And his skin is very different. Lizards are reptiles and have scaly skin. Newts have smooth skin, which when they are adult, they're able to breathe through their skin. They're able to take in oxygen through their skin whilst they're in the water. So although they look like a little lizard, they are quite different. Those tails, of course, are extremely good for swimming. They're carnivores too. They like to eat tadpoles, so some of these hundreds of tadpoles in our pond will disappear because we've got quite a lot of newts. And the other thing about amphibians is they are cold-blooded animals. So a lot of animals are cold-blooded. Reptiles are cold-blooded, aren't they? It means that their bodies are only ever as warm as the environment around them. So in the winter time they can have problems. They will hibernate in the winter time because their bodies find it hard to be active in the cold weather. So we don't see many newts and frogs in the winter time. They're all in hibernation. We've also got, I don't know if you've spotted, a little water boatman here. So we do have quite a few pond insects as well, so there's lots of food for our frogs and our newts. So there we go. We're going to go and put these animals back into the pond now. We don't normally, of course, take frogs and newts and tadpoles out of the pond, although my daughter would love to do that on a daily basis. We do let them go about their business, but just to show you today, we've just borrowed them for a couple of minutes. So that's amphibians for you. They have gills when they're born, they develop lungs as they grow so that they can come out of the water. They lay eggs, but they don't have a shell. Their skin is smooth and they can breathe through their skin, and they are cold-blooded animals. I hope you've enjoyed watching. Goodbye from our wiggly tadpoles, and we'll have more on animal classification at 2 o'clock tomorrow. Bye bye.